Hello and welcome to 4-Star Moose News Network. I'm Cumberbatch Hathaway and I thank you for joining us this Friday. Folks, a new epidemic is striking the nation, but it isn't a physical one. In the minds of people, new ideas of reform are becoming more common and new groups are speaking up to what they see as injustices to society. So what is this new movement and what do they plan on doing, you ask? Well, in our midst stand the progressives in their path along what has now been dubbed the Progressive Era. Progressives' ideals first arose after the economic depression of the 1890s, specifically the disaster that was the Panic of 1893. This state of practically deserted governmental power and finances began because of unstable railroad financing and overbuilding of railroads in monopolistic circumstances. With the end of this crisis, many middle and upper class families started to gain consciousness of growing social unrest and changes that needed to occur to create a more people-oriented society. No more Rockefellers or Vanderbilts, these people began to rally into groups and became advocates for a whole lot of change. Their entire platform is built on 4 main pillars. These pillars are their main desires and include promoting social welfare, promoting moral improvement, creating economic reform, and fostering efficiency. At the core, they strive to make the people's voices stronger than that of lone businessmen and corrupt politicians. But not all of these protests are that tranquil. Some groups have been rather demanding, like Alice Paul's National Women's Party, who are using picket lines in front of the White House, are becoming disturbing to the point of arrest. Even when arrested, they just can't quit and start going on food strikes until women are given suffrage. Now, while there are numerous unions presently active with members supporting women's civil rights, prohibition, or conformity of Christianity as seen in the social gospel movement, the biggest lasting impact progressives have already made have been in the economic changes and the political power shift from big businesses to the average worker. How so? These efforts are evident through none other than the United States Constitution. The most recent additions to the growing list of amendments are the 16th and 17th, establishing a graduated income tax and allowing citizens to directly elect senators, respectively, in which both amendments permitted each ordinance. Now, the government is being more equitable towards the average working class individual, rather than condoning the chokehold-like power that monopolies have had on government decisions in the past. With more federal government regulations, factories are seeing big transformations in what is just, and the overall working conditions have gotten better thanks to the efforts of progressive reformers. These groups of people are becoming so popular because everyone has begun to realize that they need to be more fair to the rights of the people as we stray further from old values into the new. Progressives aren't just influencing the future, they are the future. With many reformers taking new stands, forming new alliances, protesting current injustices, and winning the favor of our people and government, it is only a matter of time before the next big change to the American lifestyle happens. Our analytical commentator on a report of Woodrow Wilson.
Thanks, Cumberbatch. It seems that people believe President Woodrow Wilson is the most progressive president this country has ever had. Wilson is the 28th U.S. president and has served in office from 1913 to 1921 and led America through World War I. An advocate for democracy and world peace, Wilson is often ranked as one of the nation's greatest presidents because of his accomplishments. Wilson came into the White House like a priestly visionary, intent on expanding economic opportunity for the people at the bottom of society and eliminating special privileges enjoyed by the nation's richest and most powerful citizens. Wilson focused on tariff reform, pushing through Congress and Underwood-Simmons Act, which achieved the most significant reductions in rates since the Civil War. He argued that high tariffs created monopolies and hurt consumers, and his lower tariffs were especially popular in the South and West. The act offset lost revenue by providing a small graduated income tax as authorized by the 16th Amendment to the Constitution. Next, Wilson tackled the currency problem and banking reform. Since the Civil War, Democrats and agrarians have wanted more flexible credit available in times of economic expansion or crisis. By the early 20th century, bankers and businessmen had also begun to demand reform. With everything that Wilson has done, it seems to everyone that he is the most progressive president we have ever had.
Are you tired, sick, feeling weak, or suffering from exhaustion? Here's Gilbert and Parsons' Hygienic Whiskey. No matter the disorder, headache, nervous excitement, melancholy, pimples, or general feeling of exhaustion and weakness. To name just a few, there's a cure. The consumption of alcohol is essential in the process of healing the human body. Gilbert and Parsons Hygienic Whiskey is there. This is the wonderful cure that'll satisfy you. The honest medicine will heal you and your family. Those who suffer from lassitude or loss of appetite, then look no further. Gilbert and Parsons Hygienic Whiskey will heal that what ails you.
Born in Scotland and one of 15 children, Jacob Rees migrated to the United States in 1870 at the mere age of 21, and after several failed attempts as a carpenter and salesman, he changed his profession to a journalist, where he achieved the most success. Today we are very pleased to have with us the man behind the name, Jacob Rees.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be on the show.
Now the news on the town is that you are a big muckraker trying to bring about reform to the living conditions of the lower class in the cities.
Yes, sir. Have you seen the tenements that these people are living in? They're horrible. Dozens of people living in 2-room apartments, up to 4 families sharing bathrooms. It's truly inhumane, and it's crazy that this problem has not been addressed before. I mean, in 1849, cholera took the lives of 5,000 people because of overcrowded, unsanitary living conditions.
Yes, I think every decent American has seen the pictures and read the accounts from your articles and book, How the Other Half Lives. Would you like to go into detail about this piece of literature?
Yes, I have taken many pictures over the years and I've read many articles on this issue itself. Using all of this, I was able to compile them into one singular book. The title, How the Other Half Lives, represents the lower class Americans who are living in these horrible tenements from hell. Not only these, I use recent creation of flash photography to highlight how dangerous these parts of New York are inside and outside of the home.
And did you expect the success of the book, or was this a surprise to you?
You know, when I wrote the book, collection of stories, my main goal was to bring light to an issue that honestly didn't receive enough attention from the government and people of America as a whole. I wanted to bring representation to a group that did not have a say or voice in our society.
What do you think of the other people, or muckrakers, now standing up to support causes all across America?
I believe that all people under the American system of freedom and democracy have the right to stand up for what they believe in, and everyone has the right to enact change to make his or her country a better place. It is truly one of the most patriotic things a citizen can do.
Very strong words, Mr. Rees. Now one last question before you go. We heard that you got to meet President Roosevelt himself. How was the experience for you?
He's quite the lad. I met him before his presidency, and he asked if there was anything he could do to help, and I said, well, of course. A man with that dignity and respect for American population deserves my vote.
Very nice. Thank you very much, Mr. Rees. We hope more people like you stand up for what they believe in the near future. And now down to East Avenue for a live report by Lewis Spalding.
Hello, I'm Lewis Spalding reporting live at East Avenue, where women are attempting to maintain and secure their rights to suffrage. A few days ago, the 19th Amendment was passed by Congress. It states a citizen's right to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. Back here at East Avenue, women are seen campaigning throughout the city with signs that read, "Votes for Women" and "How long should women wait for liberty?" Some of the leaders in this fight include Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Unfortunately, Miss Anthony is no longer with us to see this major feat in political history. The women's suffrage movement is a battle that has lasted many years, but it appears that they have finally convinced the American Congress and the public to allow women to vote. It's about time, but I think we all have questions as to what will happen next. Back to you.
And now for a special message brought to you by Cracker Jacks. Started in 1872 by F.W. Wickham, Cracker Jacks were sold by a streetcar on Chicago's 4th Avenue. After continuous praise, Cracker Jacks finally hit it off with Chicago World's Fair in 1893. Since then, Sailor Jack and Bingo the dog have become an American favorite. It's caramel-coated popcorn peanuts and now featuring a prize in every box, delicious and fun. Come down next Friday as the Yankees play at a good old Yankee Stadium. Fun for the whole family. Mention this ad and get 20% off your purchase of Cracker Jacks. The more you eat, the more you want.